if you're using GoHighLevel, especially as an agency owner, and you want to connect your clients' websites to their accounts so they can use them with funnels, there are a lot of ways to do it, and most of them are much harder than what I'm about to show you, which is through Cloudflare. Cloudflare is among other things, a domain name server manager, which is just fancy talk for it tells your domain when you type it into Google Chrome or wherever, it tells your computer where to get information when you type that in. So I'm going to show you how to hook up your client's domains to Cloudflare. So let's go to our Namecheap account here. So you can do this from wherever they purchase the domain or wherever you purchase the domain. That'll be through Namecheap, through GoDaddy, Squarespace. They do website building, but they also do website domain purchases. You can do it not through Wix. Wix is a different story. Wix likes to make things complicated. Do not use Wix. Guide your clients away from Wix as fervently as you possibly can. Wix is terrible. So let's go to AlamoPetSitters.com. This isn't yet hooked up. We're going to click the Manage button here. This is for Namecheap. So it's going to look a little different for your other domain managers, but just know that it's a similar process. So you go to your Manage Your Domain, then you go to Name Servers right here. All right, it's already hooked up. So let's disconnect this. So we'll cancel. We'll do Namecheap Basic DNS. So let's rehook this up. So I'm going to pause and I'll be right back. All right, so let's try this again. So we're going to go to the domain page here, click under Name Servers, Custom DNS, and this is where we're going to put the information we get from Cloudflare. So let's go to Cloudflare real quick. I'll change my tab, and we're going to click Onboard a Domain. So this is assuming you already have a Cloudflare account. Super easy to do. You don't have to pay for anything. So if it says you have to pay for something, look for the free option because there's always a free option. So we'll do AlamoPetSitters.com. Quick scan for DNS records. And just know that if you've already set this website up somewhere else or your client already has it set up somewhere else, you're going to want to manually go in and just cross-examine your DNS records in Cloudflare versus the previous DNS host, name server host, whether that's GoDaddy or wherever they purchased it, just because this scan doesn't always get everything, and you don't want things to break that you don't know how to fix. So quick scan for DNS records. We will do just click continue. None of these options are important right now. And then we can click free, select that plan, and it'll give us a couple name servers to put into Namecheap or GoDaddy. You get it. So once this loads, we'll have those URLs URLs to put into our name servers. So we'll give this a second to load. Great. This should be all of our DNS records just because I have nothing set up on this domain. So this is simpler. If there's, again, already a website on the domain, you'll need to cross-examine or compare this to the previous holder of those name servers. So we'll continue to activation and click to copy these two. So we'll do Clara and Damiette. So let's go back here, and I'm just going to retype this. And we can now click save. And if we go back to Cloudflare, we'll click continue. And it'll take a second, but we can click check name servers now, and it should propagate pretty quickly. The internet's pretty fast these days. There are servers all over the country or wherever you are. It used to be that this would take up to an hour, but these days it's pretty fast. So let's just go back to our Cloudflare homepage. Invalid name server. So let's see what that's about. All right, we will do click to copy. It's already there. Let's check name servers again. We will refresh the page. Let's get rid of this. All right. So it's still reading registrar servers. Let's go back to our home page. This might be, a couple minutes process for you. What does it say invalid name servers for? Complete the instructions on the overview page. Let's go back to, let's go to Namecheap again. I believe it's saved. Let's just check that I typed this one correctly. Okay. So it might take a second here. I'm going to pause this recording, and I'm not going to do anything in the background. I'm just going to wait for this to update, and then once it does, I'll be right back. That actually took less than a minute longer, but now it's working. So like I said, it's pretty quick nowadays for this kind of thing to update. So now we have almopetcenters.com. So now what do we do with this? Well, once it's on Cloudflare, we can go down to our HighLevel page, and we can open settings and go to, where is it, domains. So under domains, we can now connect our new domain. I would recommend, so there's a couple of ways you can do this. If you're going to build the website inside of HighLevel, let's just click connect up here real quick. If you're going to build the website inside of HighLevel, let's make it the right domain. You can just use what's called the root domain, which is just the name and then .com, .org, .xyz, whatever you picked. Now, if you already have a website or you plan on building it outside of HighLevel, you will have to use something called a subdomain. And what a subdomain is some word. You'll use events dot or opt-in dot or info dot or start dot, something along those lines, and that will be for your landing pages. So you can go to start.almopetcenters.com, and it'll probably be a get started page where you fill out your information, you get in contact with the owner of the pet sitter business. So that is what a subdomain is for. I will do both here. So let's hit continue, and then if you are doing the root domain, you'll almost always want to check this option. So check this option. So leave that on, and then click continue, and you'll see why I recommend Cloudflare in a second. So it's going to load. It's trying to set it up. I'm not sure what's actually happening in the background. It's probably generating records. So it's going to detect that we're using Cloudflare, and because of that, it'll set everything up automatically. So all we have to do is approve it. Let's maybe it won't. All right, so good. I will show you then what it looks like to do it manually. I just click verify record, so now I'm stuck for a second. So we're gonna have to wait this out. So if you use Cloudflare, sometimes it doesn't quite detect it if it's brand new in Cloudflare, but most of the time it will work just fine where it says, oh, you're in Cloudflare, you click go to Cloudflare, and then it pops up a window and you just have to authorize the change it's going to make. But this is better because now you get to see what it looks like manually. So there's the record type, the host name, and the required value. So we're going to go between here and Cloudflare and make these changes one by one. So let me just move these tabs so I can navigate between them quicker. So let's go to our Almo Pet Sitters page here, go to DNS, and we will add our records one by one. So let's delete this A record, delete this C name record, because that's actually what we're going to be adding. A name is using the @ symbol, which resolves to the root domain, which is, again, just the name of the domain, followed by .com, .net, whatever you bought. C name, as you see here, is a www. So those are both not necessary. We're going to delete them. Delete. Okay. Now from here, we can copy these. So we'll do, well, I'm not going to copy the @ symbol. I'm just going to type that. But let's go back up here to Cloudflare, add record. Again, it's an A record, @ symbol, and this IP address. So we're going to copy that. We're going to go back to Cloudflare, A, @ paste that. Turn off this proxy status unless you know what you're doing, just because it might create issues for you when it comes to Chrome thinking that you're a problem, like potential danger ahead, don't go to this page, security's not set up right, HTTPS is not set up right. It'll be a problem for your visitors. So turn this off if you can manage. If you're using Cloudflare for SSL, you're probably not watching this video, but if you're using Cloudflare for SSL, turn this on. That's the only way that the SSL certificate will resolve. Otherwise, leave that off. So we're going to save this, and let's go back to HighLevel. We're going to grab the CNAME now, CNAME www, and then this. So we're just going to copy this. I'm going to type www manually, and I'm going to add the CNAME record here. So we'll go CNAME www, paste that in there. Again, we'll turn that off, and we're good. So now let's verify these records. It might take a minute here. It might take no time at all, but it just takes time for this information to get to all of the Cloudflare servers around the country. And we might be, for example, reaching one in Chicago or Austin, Texas, or somewhere in the middle of the country, and it might not have gotten to that server yet. So that's why it's taking a second. So we're gonna wait here while that happens. I'm just gonna pause this once more. I lied. When I went to pause it, it finished. So it shows you how fast this can be. So now we're going to just not link this with anything in particular right now. If you know you only want to use this subdomain or domain for a funnel or website, you can select that here. But to be safe, the more generic option is just to leave this alone, proceed to finish. And now we have this domain available for any funnels we want to use. So if you go to the funnel page under sites and then settings in that nav bar, like right here about, and you'll see like, Stripe payment stuff down here. Let's just go to it. So if I go to funnels and this landing page here, if I go to settings, I can select it under domains now. So alamopetsetters.com is now an option. Let's go back to domains. I'm going to now add a subdomain. So let's go to connect the domain. We'll do again the top option, info.alamopetsitters.com. Sitters. Continue. And maybe we'll get the Cloudflare automatic option this time, so you can see both versions of this setup. Just 1 second. I'm going to pause this while we wait. All right, so I guess it doesn't like my Cloudflare setup. So again, we're going to do the manual version, which is really not a big deal. We will go here, Cloudflare, add record. This time it's going to be, I'm just going to copy this again. It's going to be CNAME record, and the host is whatever subdomain we added. So in this case, it's info. So let's go to info, CNAME, and we'll paste that in the target, that sites.ludicrous, the thing we copied. We're going to turn off proxy again, click save. And now this will resolve to whatever page we point it to. So let's go up, or I don't remember which direction that tab was. There we go. Verify. And again, we're going to wait for this to verify. And here we are. So we'll proceed to finish once more. And now we have, you'll see here, subdomains. So that's how you set up a domain through Cloudflare and then sync it, or hook it up rather, to HighLevel. One last thing I'll show you under manage. If ever you decide that you want the subdomain or domain to point to a specific funnel, let's do this. Edit, default page. Let's do opt-in demo page. So now, if we just go to info.alamopetsitters.com, you should see it resolved to that demo page that I made in some other video. So anyway, I hope this was helpful, and I hope you get some use out of Cloudflare. It's a great service. You'll see some things once in a while where it's like, oh, Cloudflare was down, Cloudflare this, Cloudflare that. They're like isolated, 0.01% incidents where Cloudflare is down for a second, but the whole internet goes down. So really, it's not a big deal. There are bigger fish to fry when that happens. So anyway, Cloudflare is a great service. I hope you have a good time using it. And if you have any questions, of course, leave a comment, leave a like on the video, and hope you have a good one.